Hello, it's good to see you. Today we're going to be talking about Bias FX 2, which is the guitar program that I like to use for all my guitar tones. I've decided it's about time that I dial in some new tones for this next record. I'm actually kind of annoyed because I already did this a couple months ago, but for some reason all the new tones that I made got corrupted and I lost every single one of them. I don't know how that happened. So we're going to have to start totally from scratch, which is fine because I can probably do better than I did back then anyways. So I'm going to do my best to do a little deep dive into the program and talk about guitar tones and how I like to shape mine, and we'll see if we can get some sweet new tones going. Yeah! So what are the different tones that I actually need for this project? First one, the biggest one, is going to be a heavy tone because I love playing in my drop B tuning and I love my heavy guitars. I want to try and get something that's not quite like the Slipknot self-titled guitar tones, but I do kind of want to go a little bit in that direction just because I love how gross they are. It's awesome. The next guitar tone we're going to need is an overdriven, crunchy guitar tone. This is one that's going to serve me well while I'm doing more big, lush chords. The heavy tone is definitely more just for the chuggy power chord type stuff, but I do like to play some bigger, more interesting chords sometimes, so I'm going to need something for that. I'm also going to need my classic shoegaze type tone, the stuff that sounds like you're floating around in space or in a pool of water. Let's just quit screwing around and get into the program. You can see it. Okay, now we're here in my DAW. This is what Bias FX 2 looks like. Just a quick rundown. Here's your amp, your cabinet, your pedals, and these are going to be my presets. Let's take a look at what I have right now. These are the tones that I've been using for pretty much everything thus far. The biggest one that I've been using a lot is this heavy plexi tone. That one's pretty good for a chunky tone. I also have this one. This one is sort of more of this like industrial kind of tone. If I turn on the EQ, I believe I designed the EQ specifically for this tone. Anyways, that's kind of where we're at for heavy tones right now. This one's kind of fun. Kind of reminds me of like stoner rock. I was thinking I don't want to actually have any reverbs or any delays on here. I want to run them down here to my FX so that everything is a little bit more glued together. This is kind of a fun tone. Lead, I don't even have lead tones, to be honest. Oh, I can't stand this one. This one I use sometimes. I like this one for layering a lot because it's got that nice... Oh, this is just such a great shoegaze type tone. Great for adding some nice warmth and richness and distortion without overwhelming the song like you would hear if I were to try and do the same thing with one of these heavy tones, you know what I mean? Just way too much. So that's what we're working with now. But we're going to see if we can do even better. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm just going to go ahead and clear this thing. And we are going to start from absolute scratch with a heavy tone. That will be super fun. I can't wait. Let's figure out first which preset sounds the best. I'm just going to take a minute and run through all these tones, figure out which one I like the best. that's nice. I'm gonna favorite that. So, okay, I probably, honestly, I've got an idea of the amps that I want to check out, but it is doing me no good anymore to be playing these riffs and listening to these amps in a void, because a guitar tone by itself is not going to work the same as a guitar tone in a full mix. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to whip up a quick loop with some drums and bass so that we can actually get the full picture here. Okay, so we've got a little loop here. Now it's going to be a lot easier to dial in these tones because we're actually going to be able to hear it in the context of a full mix. I'm going to very quickly mix this so that the drums aren't blasting my eardrums out, and then we can get back to figuring out these tones here. What I'm doing here is I'm just going to slowly bring up each level. This is how I generally mix. If you are a trained producer, do let me know if I should be mixing things better, because I'm not properly trained in this, but I'm going to do my best. We're going to need some more drive on this thing. Okay, we've got a pretty decent rough mix here. Now we're actually going to mess around with these tones some more. So I'm going to actually go ahead and clear this again and mute this one. And we're going to mix in mono for a minute. So I have heard if you can make a song sound great in mono, then it's going to sound amazing in stereo. Oh, that's nasty. Okay, let's see what happens if we combine these two. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new bank here, and I'm going to call this temporary tones. And this way I can save all my different ideas and try them out. I'm going to get so tired of this riff real quick. That's kind of nice. Okay, let's check out what it sounds like when we get both of these combined, one in each ear. See, it's still not totally doing it for me right now. But what happens if we take these two tones in each ear and they're blended together? Now, how does this compare to something like... Okay, let's try and get a little more bite. Okay, this is not bad. This is not bad. Let's see what happens now if I compare it to what I was using before. I think that's a significant upgrade. This tone is not doing it for me. It's definitely a little bit more present, but the problem that I'm having with it is it's kind of painful to listen to. Now maybe I could add in a little bit more of that bite by EQing this a little different. Nice. Okay, let's see if there's anything I want to adjust on the actual amps themselves. Okay, nice. I think that gave it just a touch more clarity. Just those small little adjustments there. See, now it's got a little bit more of that clarity, that bite that the original tones had, while it's not totally overwhelming and hurting your ears because it's so metallic, I guess you could say. Okay, I think I'm happy with that for a heavy tone for now. I can always come back and edit it later. Let's move on to the next thing, which is probably going to be that sort of overdriven, crunchy tone. I guess we should probably get a different riff going here. Let's start here. Oh. that's nice. Here's the thing about modern guitar tones too. These programs are so powerful, there's really not much that I have to do or that I even really want to do to these tones. Maybe slight tweaks, but most of the tweaking I will find myself doing when I actually go to mix a song from the ground up. So for right now, this is such a nice starting tone. Now, if we were to throw in some heavy stuff, so we're going to go with heavy 1-1 and our EQ with heavy 1-1, and same thing on this guy. Let's see if we can get a little bit of reverb going on these ones. So I'm going to go ahead and just take both of them and channel them over to Adverb, which is a free reverb. Let's think about EQ in this thing. Let's get a full mix in here again. I don't really have anything I want to do to change these tones. Honestly, just the amps themselves seem to be doing a great job. Again, if it's not broke, don't fix it. There's no need, in my opinion, to overthink things when it comes to anything music related, whether that's guitar tones or songwriting or anything. I am always in the boat of if it sounds good, it works. Obviously, if I was more of a trained producer, or I'm sure I will look back on this in 3 or 4 years and go, what in the world was I thinking? But you know what? I still think it's not broken, so I'm not going to fix it. Now let's go on to getting sort of that nice, thick, rich shoegaze. Okay. Bruh. All right, well, there you have it. My program crashed. I love shoegaze. It's never gonna get boring for me. So all I did there was I picked an amp, and then I was noticing I really like this one, but it was just a little harsh, so I took up a little bit of the mid-highs, high-mids, just to tame it a little bit, bring it down just a little bit. I tried messing around with the bass tone a little bit, but these strings are so dead that I wasn't really able to get a good sound no matter what, so I'm going to have to work on the bass tones another time. I'm going to go ahead and rough mix this little demo here so you can take a better listen to the tones that we have going here. Well, there you have it. Here are some awesome new shoegaze tones for my next album. I am very uncertain if it's actually going to be as dark as the first album I made. I don't think so. I want to try and bring in a little bit more brightness into the sound. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do that because everything that I've made thus far has been really, really dark, moody, and heavy. And I want to slightly lift the veil just a bit. I don't want to go as dark and as heavy as the first album. I hope this helped you if you were looking to get more familiar with digital guitar tones. And if you are interested in staying along for the journey of me creating this record, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. Hope to have you along for the journey. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.